Welcome back, everybody, to the Crypto Mindset channel, the only channel delivering real value, real crypto trading value with no BS and no fluff, and the fastest growing thanks to all of you that are coming back again. Today, we're going to talk to you, ZBCNs, and to everyone else that is interested in ZBCN as a coin. One thing I want to start is right now, it is not a buy suggestion whatsoever. This is not financial advice, but what I'm going to do in this video is to outlay what can we expect from the ZBCN breakout, because this was a very special breakout. This was a stage 1 neglect breakout into a stage 2, which increases its probability to make something exceptional. Okay, very important. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you multiple precedents of how coins in the past made this same pattern and eventually got into a multi-month bull market, which I call a stage 2 uptrend. So stay tuned until the end to make sure you get all the alpha, all the knowledge, what to expect, and to make sure you understand what are the next steps you should have on ZBCN. Right, let's start first. Like, subscribe, comment to this video, and do everything for us to be better. Again, thanks to you, we are growing. Okay, now I'm going to start with showing you, okay, that this is a trade we took. As you can see, I want to make sure that I'm not just BSing around. I'm actually delivering real value from real results. This is from our WAP. If you're interested, scan the QR code, go check it out. 6 days ago, trade alert on ZBCN. This is everything that I told them to do. Always protect your risk with stop loss, ladies and gentlemen. 7.5% capital, okay? Big move. This is the trade alert over here, the signal. If you enlarge it to see it over in a big time frame, okay, in a big picture, sorry, you will see that this is this picture, okay? This small picture here, I can't make it bigger because WAP doesn't allow me. I need to bring it to bigger size. You can see this is from May, this timestamp, May 21st. Take the breakout of this blue level as indicated over here, okay, by the breakout of the 226. Okay, now that this is behind us, and you can believe me that I don't just, talk the talk like all the YouTubers, actually walk the walk. Okay, now I'm going to show you the precedents. Now make sure you need to open your eyes, open your ears. Okay, ask questions in the comments if you have any, because I'm going to go over the comments and I'm going to answer you one by one. So ask any question that you feel like, because this is going to be educational. You're going to you see how we do this over and over, you'll be able to do it afterwards. And as well, what can you expect doing from now on ZBCN if you missed, or if you want to add to the position that you already have. Okay, so this is the chart, and I'm going to start with XRP in 2016. Okay, as you can see, XRP had a little bubble double in the inception of September 2014. This means nothing. This was fluff. Okay, moved up and down, up and down. And then what it had, it got into, and by the way, this is a weekly chart. Okay, this is weekly candles because this is way too long. We went into what I call a stage 1 neglect. A stage 1 neglect is a long sideways move, okay, with usually horizontal resistance level of a long time, in this case 2 years almost, okay, that you can see that each time you try to break above it, okay, you kind of got rejected roughly from the same price level. Eventually you break out of this level, okay, and go into a new stage 2 breakout. So this is a stage 1, this is going to be stage 2, okay. And if I'm going to kind of shrink this, you're going to see that this has, and let's go to the daily so you can see better. This looks very much like the ZBCN, move, a trade like that had in the beginning. I need to go all the way back because it's not helping me over here. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. Look at how of a massive move we went afterwards. Okay, the first move only. All right, the first move. And by the way, let me make sure that we are in the same page over here, because you must see this. Okay, you must understand exactly what I'm referring to. All right, ZBC, okay, N. Okay, this is how the charts looks like now. As I said, multi-month neglect phase by a breakout, a stage 1 neglect breakout. Okay, this is it. And then now we just broke out. This is where we are in ZBCN. Okay, take a look at the XRP chart from 2016. Okay, how it looks initially, very similar. Okay, very similar. Let's remove all the fluff. very similar, okay, to the ZBCN, this area specifically, okay? And then you had a breakout, okay? And this breakout took you far and above. Look at this move, okay? This move was outrageous. I would actually call it very outrageous, but the breakout took you into like 600% in like a week, okay? In like a week, okay? So this is what happened, okay? This is precisely what happened on XRP in almost the inception before 2016 until after 2017. This was a 2-month sideways action, again, a neglect phase. A neglect phase is the phase where people don't look at the chart. They're not interested. Only a very few people, like early adopters, insiders, they're looking at it, they're accumulating. This is the stage I call neglect because I don't want to be in it. Now, I'm not going to get into the whys. That's what we do in our courses, okay, which you can go and definitely check out in the membership, scan the QR code, okay, and make sure as well that you have a little bit of a gift from me. Let me give you a 15% off, okay? As you can see in the bottom, a 50% off gem, 15 gem to all our trading services. You can use it if you want to pay crypto. You can send an email as well. No biggie, okay? No biggie at all, okay? You can learn what this means, the stage one neglect. But for this purpose of this video, you don't need to understand exactly the stage analysis and what stage one means. You only need to know that this had a long sideways move, just like ZBCN, okay, just like ZBCN, then broke out, just like ZBCN broke out here, okay. This was the breakout, the inception of the breakout on ZBCN, and this is what happened on XRP later. You can see it went into 600% move, and then actually it continued and continued and continued for a while. This wasn't the top, actually. This was just the first kind of 4,000%, and afterwards, after 6 months of sideways, it's actually continued and just went crazy. We're not going to go into that because that's way too crazy for now. I'm gonna be happy with a 4,000% move if we get it. I'm not saying that this is exactly what we're going to get on ZBCN. I'm just saying that there's a very similar pattern between XRP stage 1 breakout into the ZBCN breakout that we're having right now, okay? Let's move to ETH. ETH in the inception of 2014 and 15 had a very similar move, had an inception, then a sideways action, again, with this kind of horizontal resistance. You can see this acted as resistance here, resistance here, resistance here in these candles, and all of a sudden you broke out this area. This breakout made a 100% move initially and then made some 2 weeks of a sideways move, which maybe we can expect. I'm going to talk about the expectations in a second. Right now, I'm just showing you what happens after a stage 1 breakout, okay? As you can see, I need to go very high and far in order to understand that, you know, in a couple of months, this made a 10x. So not like XRP made 40x, this made a 10x initially, but of course, it actually continued afterwards. After a couple of moves, it actually continued, but it doesn't matter. This doesn't matter for us. What matters is actually this first move, okay? If it's 40x or 10 like in XRP or 10x like in ETH, I don't know, okay? I just know that usually these stage 1 breakouts make for a big move, okay? It can be 10, 40, 100, I don't care because I'm not going to wait for all that time. I'm just going to take the money and trade the first move up, and then if it continues later on after months and months, I will be in it, of course, but that's not for the purpose of this video. Again, this video is to show you the potential of what might happen in the next few weeks to few months, 2 to 3 months, if everything pans out. Again, this is a probability game in trading, okay? It is a probability game, and I'm showing you here that this pattern is repeatable, which gives you an edge, and an edge is something that is repeatable. It's not a certain, okay? It's just repeatable. No certainty, just repeatable, okay? Let's move to SHIB. Another example on SHIB in the inception of 2021. As you can see, this had a sideways move, a bit shorter than the XRP and ETH move, I would argue, because this was incepted in a bull market, okay? So a bit different, which is okay. Maybe ZBCN is more close to this because it was shorter. As you can see, ZBCN, well, not as short as this. Let's actually measure this move. This was actually a year exactly, okay? And SHIB was actually half a year, okay? So, but look what happened. Again, look at these, the horizontal resistance kind of area where you broke out of this area, the 956, and look what happened. Again, you can see that again, the repeatness, okay? This is not for nothing, these are precedents, because this shows you that this pattern, the stage one multi-month breakout, is something repeatable. And again, this made a move of roughly, 270% or 260% initially, okay? So a nice move. And again, that this is not where it stopped. It actually moved higher, and in this case this was the top, so 8x, okay? 8x in a month or a month and a half, okay? Beautiful move, beautiful in all aspects. This is a very, very, very beautiful move, very beautiful move. By the way, if you aren't subscribed to my Twitter, please subscribe to the Twitter. You can check out the No Edge, No Trade Twitter. Go check me out. So like this video. Show me the love. Show me the appreciation. I'm showing you something here that took me years to understand, years of work, okay? I'm showing you an edge that is repeatable, something that you can watch on the charts and actually make a decision over and over that will make you consistently amount of money with no certainties, only high probabilities, but still, okay? This is beautiful education. So share the love, ask questions in the comment section. Tell me, what do you think about this, okay? So SHIB, very much like ZBCN, had a sideways move, but ZBCN only started right now, okay? Only started right now, making for now, okay, 150% only. Okay, so far the smallest amount we've seen was 8x. Okay, so right now at 1.5, like 2.5x, we still probably have more, and if it's going to be something like XRP, much stronger. Let's go back to XRP. XRP here, okay, is actually not from the inception, but from a neglect stage after a move up from 2022, May 2022 until November 2024. So another one that is 2 years plus, okay, of sideways action. Actually almost 3 years almost, so, okay, of sideways action. Look, we had this horizontal resistance thing again, okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We had here like a halt, okay, like a small halt, boom, and then continuation. Look what happened afterwards. This was this last November, okay, this last November, and this made from the breakout not as much because this wasn't an inception breakout, but still a very much a repeatable pattern. Even if this is a 270%, if you made a good, nice, juicy move on it, which we did because we took, this breakout, you could have taken, I took the breakout here, the continuation takeout here, and then added here. Beautiful, and sold roughly here when I saw that this probably was the end of the move. But again, I'm not trying to show you only the very, very moon boy aspect of 8x, 40x, 100x. No, I'm trying to show you that as well. Sometimes it makes you 3x or a 4x, which is still beautiful, but this is a bit different because it's not an IPO inception like ZBCN was, like XRP in the beginning was, or like ETH was when they were new coins, okay? But I'm showing an example, and SHIB, even SHIB was a new coin here. I'm showing an example of even when this is not a new coin, okay, you can still get the stage one breakout. I'm teaching you here, like and subscribe, okay? Follow me on Twitter, okay? And of course, go check out our memberships. You can scan the QR code in the upper left side, in the upper, or in my at least left side, maybe your right side, I don't really know. But the beautiful thing is that we're actually having a seminar next week about how to find these gems, okay? How to find the next gem, okay? ZBCN was one. What is the next one, of course? So we're going to teach you how we do it. Scan the QR code. Go check that out. You can use the 15% coupon code that I showed you earlier. I'm going to show this again, the gem 15 gem, to make sure that you look at the Gem Hunter webinar next week, 4th of June, or any of our membership, whatever you want to do. At least like and subscribe right now to the channel. Give us the, as CM says, the licky love. Okay, licky love. I find it fun and humorous. Anyways, moving on. Another example. Take a look at Doge in the inception. A bit more volatile. Okay, less horizontally, but still had somewhat of a horizontal resistance here. Okay, and then broke out with something similar where you had this kind of cup and handle here. Take a look at ZBCN. Had a cup and eventual handle before the breakout, okay? So Doge in this aspect, very much the same, a bit more volatile, a bit less horizontally, but still stage one neglect from the inception, broke out. Now this is outrageous. This was one of the most outrageous moves I've seen. The initial move wasn't that outrageous, made 150%. And as you can see, we're going to get soon to what you can expect here on. You have different types of reactions to the first move, okay? This was kind of like a bull flag, a bit more steep, okay, but still continued, kind of bull flag like this, okay? You can get the SHIB one was more like a pennant, let's call it, a VCP pennant, which I really like. These are the patterns that I really smash, okay? ETH, I believe, was somewhat of a pennant as well, as you can see here, very much like the SHIB one, okay? So maybe this is one of the predominance, how it looks like. You can see this was a pennant with a volatility contraction pattern, smashed it. The XRP one continuation was more like, that, bull flag that happened on Doge, actually. I can see that the bigger the initial move, okay, the bigger, maybe not actually, but you have these two types. You have either the bull flag breakout or the pennant, okay? Just like the ETH one and the SHIB one was a pennant. XRP one later was actually kind of a very fast, kind of pennant as well. Doge was a bull flag. And now let's go to Link, because Link in the inception, just like, XRP in the beginning, it had like a fluff move, but then it got into this, stage one neglect. You can see this was very much horizontally. It was initially support here, okay, but then went into a resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, kind of a, cup with handle here, volatility contraction pattern, and boom, breakout. Let's see what happened afterwards. We can see that the initial move was of 130%, okay, and then it created somewhat of a pennant, okay, just like this, okay, that is, a bit lopsided, but still, interestingly enough, boom, it continued. And let's take a look how much it continued, at least in the first initial move on 8x, and then went sideways. And of course, later on, they all continue into higher moves, because this is inception. Usually the breakout, and for this, I want you to come closer to me. I wanted to view what I'm trying to say, because this is important, okay? When you have a stage one neglect for a year, or maybe half a year sometimes, the longer, a year is kind of a sweet spot, but half a year, 2 years, and then you break out. And again, if it's a new coin, stage one neglect of half a year to 2 years, okay, maybe sometimes more, and then a breakout, if you have that horizontal resistance, that usually indicates we're getting into a prolonged bull market for the coin. Now, you will have stages for the bull market, okay? And there's no guarantee, because sometimes if the market and Bitcoin shifts all of a sudden from bull to bear, you won't have the same thing, okay? It will reverse. So we don't know when it's going to end. So because of that, I will take profits into strength. As you've seen, all of them, they had an initial move between, 3 to 4 to 8 to 10 to 40x. Then they later on corrected a long time and then continued. For me, right now, we need to focus on the first move, on the next couple of weeks to the next 2 to 3 months move, probably up to 8 to 10x, maybe more. We don't really know. That can happen. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the charts, and I'm going to show you what to expect, okay, right now on ZBCN, and how to make sure that you do it. Okay, so if you go by the link, okay, or any of them, you have a first move, okay? Probably, let's see all of them. This is the first move on Doge, okay? 150%. Link was 140%. XRP, this is as important. SHIB, first move. Let's see how much was it. It was something on the 260% move on SHIB, okay? ETH, initial move, let's make sure we understand just the initial first move was 115%, okay? And the first XRP move was, let's see how much was that. That was the strongest one, 600% initial move, okay? So you can see that most of them created 150, 200% move, okay? You can see ETH, 115, SHIB, 260, let's call it XRP here. Well, it doesn't matter here. 150 on Doge, because that's not an inception. An IPO stage one breakout, 140 here. So ZBCN, already 150% from the breakout, okay? So what can we expect now, okay? Now, I don't know if this is exactly how it's going to pan out, but what we can expect now is either a pennant, okay, of let's say a couple of weeks to a month, because that's how most of them kind of reacted. So if we kind of measure this from this day, so up to, yeah, something like this. It can take longer. It really depends on the asset, the market, many different variables. I don't know exactly. I don't have a crystal ball, but I've shown you past presidents, okay? So that's what I can expect. If past presidents, let's say this one, let's measure it, okay? This first move to the new breakout here was 26 days. Let's look at the ETH one, okay? From this high over here to the breakout, 14 days, okay? So a bit shorter. SHIB, let's measure SHIB one, okay? From this high day all the way to the breakout, 18 days, okay? And this XRP Doge, okay? Let's measure the Doge one, okay? Doge from this high to over here, so 27 days, okay? What about the Link one, okay? Link, let's measure this one from this high all the way to breakout, 24 days. So I would expect anyone up to a month, let's call it, okay? It can be longer because that's what the market will decide. But as you can see, the precedents say that anywhere between, 14 days to a month can happen. So it's going to build sideways, okay? Maybe in a pennant fashion, something like this, okay? With a VCP and then a breakout, which you will want to take this breakout. That's what you will want to take this breakout. And this will probably lead either to a one move high, okay? That will go all the way to the, I would argue, the 1 cent, okay? Argue the best. Or maybe you'll have a move up somewhat, and then a somewhat of a small correction, and then the last kind of move up with kind of exhaustion all the way here, and that would probably be it for this move. Now, of course, it can go higher. Again, no crystal ball. I'm not a prophet, okay? But based on XRP, okay, which was a bull flag, not a pennant, but still, it can be a bull flag, okay? Boom, sideways, 26 days, then broke out, okay? ETH, pennant, 14 days, then broke out, had a 1 and a 2 later on, okay? SHIB had a 1, just this one, like ZBCN now, and then a breakout out of pennant, okay? Doge actually had this bull flag, and bam, had, this kind of correction up, which kind of odd week over here, but still. Link had a pennant, move up, sideways action, boom, last one. So you're either going to have one more leg up or one leg up, fast correction, and another leg up. That's what I'm going to expect on ZBCN, okay? Either of 1 or 1, 2, 3 is going to happen. And I believe that a fair projection can be the 1 cent, because also it's a psychological round number. And if we're going to measure, okay, this from the break all the way to here, you're going to get 300% to 400%. Very much acceptable, very much acceptable. Now, let's say it goes to, higher than that. Let's see where the 8x is, for example, or the 10x, something like that. So you can see if we go all the way to the 8x, it's the 2 cent mark, okay? Can we go there? Of course. But first, let's get back to the 1 cent. I think the 1 cent is more probable than the 2 cents, but the 2 cents, if we get into really ferocious continuation, that can happen as well, okay? But for me, I rather focus right now on the 1 cent, and it doesn't matter if it's going to be the 1 cent, the below 1 cent, above 1 cent, 2 cents. It's either going to be in this fashion, then a one strong up, and that's it for now, and then a long sideways of a couple of months in that continuation, probably, just like what happens in the precedents, or one up, short sideways again, and boom, another one, more explosive until then, and then a sideways, and then maybe a continuation, okay? So I tried to illustrate to you here, or where ZBCN is right now, okay? And I showed you, okay, the trade that we have. Very important to understand that this is something that we took, okay, to not charlatans over here, real alpha traders, no BS. This is our WAP. And if you're interested in the membership, you can go and check it out. You have the link in the description, okay? Or you can scan the QR code, go check it out. We make money, and we show you how we make money for educational purposes and for you to actually learn how to do it yourself. We give you a skill set for life. Stop round tripping. Stop following moon boys that have no idea. Follow real traders, okay? It's gonna be very beneficial, okay? And this is the trade on ZBCN, okay? Very important. This is the specific chart, okay? From here, you can see, as again, this is very small, but you can see 21st of May. It's same chart here, 21st of May. We took it, okay? So very important to understand that you are talking here, you're viewing someone that took it as in a community. Okay, we saw it happening. Why? Because of everything that I've shown you here. I've mastered the stage 1 neglect breakout over multiple years. Okay, multiple years of doing it over and over again. So what did we see today? We showed precedents of stage 1 breakouts. How do they look like? Okay, we showed, okay, what happens the first move, how high can it go from 100, 200%, and then sideways, and then continuation, maybe to a 6x, and then continuation like XRP. And then what happens? Okay, the continuation, either a bull flag or a panic, and then a continuation, how you can take that breakout. I've shown you what can you expect, how you should wait, okay? Because the one thing you don't want to do is to just buy it now out of expectations going to continue, because hey, this can actually fail, because precedents and probabilities are not certainties, okay? There's still a chance this can go all the way back down for some reason. Maybe it's a rug. Maybe it's going to be hacked. We don't know, okay? We don't know. So it's important to understand these are only precedents, no certainties, but they have high probability of happening over and over because they are a type of an edge that is repeatable, okay? I've taught you that. Like, subscribe. It's a free way to support us. Like, subscribe, ask me questions in the comment section. And if you want to make sure that you're actually taking this into the next level, you want to invest in yourself, either by the webinar next week, scan the QR code here, okay, here or here or here, whatever, okay, for the crypto gem hunter webinar next week, or join our memberships where we show our trades in real life, just like the ZBCN one I just showed right now multiple times. And hey, do me a favor, use the 15% free money coupon code on the footer, gem 15 gem, and you can pay in crypto if you want. Okay, do it now, because we are in the last inning of this bull market and you want to capitalize on it as much as possible. Okay, until next time, free alpha for you, crypto mindset, Jomo here. Until next time, no edge, no trade. Cheers.